So, when you picture a data engineer, what comes to mind? Probably a bunch of code, right? Complex diagrams, massive data pipelines. But what if I told you their most critical task, the thing that actually drives the most value, has almost nothing to do with technology? Let's dig into the real secret job of a data engineer.
See, the real mission of a data engineer, it isn't just about building slick, efficient pipelines. I mean, the technology is a tool, right? It's not the end goal. The real mission, and this is what separates the good from the great, is all about understanding and serving people.
Okay, so the textbook definition is pretty straightforward. A data engineer gets raw data, cleans it up, turns it into something useful, and then makes it available for everybody else to use. This is the technical foundation, the part everyone sees and expects.
But here's the kicker. What does useful actually mean? It sounds so simple, but that one little word, that's where all the complexity, and honestly, all the value is hiding. Because useful isn't something you define in code. It's defined by people.
So, to figure out what useful means, we've got to start by looking downstream. We need to talk to the people who are actually going to consume the data products we build. It's all about digging into the why behind what they're asking for.
And listen, your users can be anyone in the organization. Just look at this list. You've got super technical data scientists, you've got machine learning engineers, but you've also got sales teams, product managers, even executives who just need a high-level dashboard. They all have totally different needs, different goals, and, you guessed it, fundamentally different definitions of what's useful. All right, let's walk through a classic example. A business analyst comes up to you and says, "Hey, I need a dashboard of daily sales." Sounds simple enough, right? I mean, you just pull the sales data for each day. Or is it that easy?
And this is exactly where that secret job kicks in, because the very first and most important question you have to ask is, what exactly is a day? And trust me, the answer is not nearly as obvious as you might think, especially if you're working for a global company.
Yeah, think about it. A day for the team in San Francisco, they're on Pacific time, right? That's a completely different 24-hour window than a day for the global ops team, who probably runs everything on UTC. If you don't nail down that one little detail, your entire dashboard is gonna be wrong, right from the get-go. And this is why you have to become a bit of an investigator. You got to ask these clarifying questions that get to the real heart of the need. Like, hey, how often do you need this data refreshed? Is yesterday's data good enough, or do you need it updated every hour? Or are there any common calculations, joins or aggregations that you do every single time? Because I can pre-process that for you and make your queries way faster. Getting aligned on stuff like this is what turns a vague request into a data product that's actually valuable and reliable. Okay, so that's one half of the job, serving your downstream users. It's all about translating their business needs into precise technical specs. But that's only half the story. To deliver that data, you got to get it from somewhere first. So now, let's flip the script and look upstream. Right, because before you can serve anyone, you have to get that raw data from its source. And this means you're working with your upstream partners. And in this relationship, your role is completely flipped. You are now the data consumer.
So who are these upstream stakeholders? They're the folks who create and maintain the source systems. A lot of the time, they're the software engineers building the very applications that are generating all this data you need. They could be inside your company or even at a third-party vendor. And you know how you had to ask all those critical questions downstream? Well, you need to have a very similar conversation upstream. You have to understand the shape and behavior of the data you're getting. How much data should I expect? And how often? What format is it going to be in? And maybe the most important question of all, how am I going to get notified if something breaks or if the schema changes? These aren't just tiny technical details. This is the foundation of building a system that doesn't fall apart. Honestly, building a strong relationship here is like a strategic superpower for a data engineer. It means you can get a heads up before a schema change totally breaks your pipeline. You might even be able to influence how they generate the data in the first place to make your job easier. This kind of proactive partnership is the real key to building data systems that are truly resilient. Okay, so we've looked downstream at the business need, and we've looked upstream at the technical source. The real magic, the secret sauce of a great data engineer, happens right there in the middle, bridging that entire value chain. At the end of the day, a data engineer's life is a constant balancing act between these two very different worlds. On one side, you've got your downstream users, and that conversation is all about business value. And on the other side, you've got your upstream sources, where the conversation is all about technical reality.
And that right there is the essence of the job. A great data engineer isn't just a builder. They are the human bridge. They translate business needs into technical requirements, and then they translate technical constraints and realities back to the business. They're the central translators in the entire data value chain.
So that brings us to our final question. Is a great data engineer a builder, or are they a diplomat? And the secret, of course, is that they have to be a master of both. They build the pipelines, sure, but their true value, that comes from navigating the people. That is the data engineer's secret job.